Pongalo Pongal, Pongalo Pongal, Pongalo Pongal. How are you? I just thought I'd welcome you in true festive Pongal Tamil spirit style.
And you did a great job with it. And here's my response. Vanakkam and happy Pongal to you.
I'm very, very impressed, and I have to say that you're in your finest Tamil finery. As far as your fashion is concerned, you're spot on, you're looking lovely.
Thank you. I was waiting for that validation.
Now listen, in India it's all about the harvest, isn't it? I mean, the Keralites have Onam.
Yes.
Millions of times people north of the Vindhyas come and wish me happy Pongal, and I have to happy Pongal, and I say you're absolutely correct, and then they come and wish me happy Onam, and I said you're mistaken, because I'm very, very sorry. That is a festival celebrated by brethren in Kerala. You know, Lori is the harvest festival for the north, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially Pongal is a multi-day harvest festival celebrated predominantly in Tamil Nadu. And of course, Tamilians in Karnataka, in Kerala, in Andhra Pradesh, the other southern states, or, you know, Pravashis like me who live in Mumbai city. Now, if you observe the festival through the Tamil calendar, it's celebrated in the month of Thai, which is why it's also called Thai Pongal. Yes. According to the English calendar, it's normally around the 14th or the 15th, give or take a couple of days. And obviously, because it's a harvest festival, a lot of the stuff that's grown down south is predominantly paddy. So it's us paying obeisance to the Sun Lord, to Surya Bhagwan. And like I said, there are different reasons why even Diwali is celebrated in Tamil Nadu. Diwali is not celebrated because Lord Ram came back.
Yeah, I remember
it is celebrated because Sri Krishna killed Narakasur, the Asur.
Yes.
So similarly, even though Pongal does coincide with Makar Sankranti and Lori, the deities that we worship are different. But the beauty is, it's celebrated all over. In fact, now Tamilians who settled as far off as Malaysia and Singapore and the Gulf also make such a big deal about it. Now, if I were to put it down to brass tacks, if I take some water, I would say in Tamil, if I put it in a bowl, I'll say Thanni pongikaya vechirgen. Pongina solunga. Which basically means anything that boils, the process is called Pongal. So it's derived from boiling. Now, obviously, it is pertinent to the festival in this occasion. And what has happened over the course of time is we actually make a dish called Pongal. The sweetened version of it is called Shakra Pongal, which is shakkar sweet. And then there's Ven Pongal, which is the savory form of it. So it's actually become from just boiling to a dish, and of course a festival named after it. Anything you want to ask me?
For the first time, I'm not speaking, and I knew that this is going to happen. I knew you'll be able to take the lead, and I actually wanted you to tell everybody about it in the true Tamil way. I have two questions to ask you, actually. Why is it that in the South, everyone's very particular about this? Like you were talking about, Onam is for Keralites. So if by mistake, like I've done this mistake in the past during my recipes, I got trammed. So why is it that everyone's so particular about the particular festival that they celebrate, and that it cannot be mixed? Because
we're very different from each other. It's only you people who view us as Madrasis.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing in common with somebody who grew up in Hyderabad and Secunderabad, you know, who's from Andhra Pradesh. I'm a Tamilian. I have nothing absolutely in common with the Malayalis who live in Kerala. In fact, the language is so different from Tamil that it's almost inconceivable to a lot of Tam-speaking people to be able to speak fluent Malayalam. Lots of them do it.
Yeah.
And if you ask the Kannadigas, you know, who live in Mangalore and Mysore, they again will say that they have very little in common with the other southern states. So it's only in the north that it's viewed as one territory south of the Vindhyas. But we're very, very, very different.
Yeah, but even in north, like we have so many different places, but it's more or less the culture, the language, everything is same. But in South India, like you rightly said, it's quite distinct. Everybody is very different from each other. Now, I just wanted to ask you that question because, like I said,
you're the mythology
in
person.
The past. Yes, that's what I'm coming to now.
And I can tell you the cultural roots of it. I can tell you how we celebrate it and things like that. But if I were to go back into the history books, I would suck. So I'd leave you to do that, please.
So let me take over for that. I have to tell you, and I'm not sure you know, actually, some records say that Pongal is a really ancient festival and can be traced all the way back to 200 BC, Rishi. In fact, this Dravidian harvest festival even has a mention in the Sanskrit Puranas. So that is something I thought would be interesting for you to know. And just like all Indian festivals have a legendary story behind it, so does our very own Pongal. There are many stories around this, but I want to narrate today Lord Shiva's story. So legend has it that Lord Shiva asked his bull Nandi to go to earth and ask the mortals there to have an oil massage every day and a bath every day, but they could eat only on one day a month. Now, our friend Nandi reaches Earth and inadvertently says the opposite to all the humans there. He said they have to eat every day but have an oil massage and a bath once a month. So Lord Shiva, who's is known for his short fuse, said, absolutely wrong instruction. You're banished. Now you go and live on earth. So our poor bull came to earth, but because he had to live up to his promise and provide for that additional productivity, he started helping and plowing the fields every day so that they could actually eat every day. So that's a very interesting story around it. But coming back to what really happens, and I was talking to you earlier and you said, a lot of it is not followed in modern times, and usually all these celebrations are done in their authentic way, mostly in villages and stuff. But it'll be nice to kind of break it down and talk to everybody about the fact that Pongal is a multi-day festival and is celebrated over proper 4 days. And each day there is a distinct activity that happens. So let me start with Bhogi Pongal.
I'd actually like to talk about this
please,
first.
Go ahead.
You see, the Tamil calendar is very different from the Christian calendar.
Right.
And the Tamil calendar, Pongal is actually the beginning of the last day of the Tamil month of Margai. It's called Margai Masam, and it's actually spelled as Marghali. So it's written Margali, but actually it's Margai Masam.
Okay.
It's the last day of the month of Margai, which is celebrated as Bhogi. Now, Bhogi is very simple. You've got to give away your old possessions and assume new possessions.
But why burn them?
In the villages, they are known to burn.
Okay.
In the cities, we don't burn because you've understood things like climate change and, burning and fossil fuels and things like that. And even in the villages now, people seldom burn.
Okay.
If at all, they would have a bonfire in the evening, not
Right.
necessarily as symbolic. Like they say for Shagun, they'll light a bonfire.
Right.
But they may not necessarily throw their old things into
And
it.
even if they did it again, would be just symbolic, just
Correct.
for Shagun. Yeah.
Correct. So this thing about, we have to throw old things into the bonfire is out. Even in modern day rural India.
Sure.
Obviously, houses are cleaned, and in Bhogi also what happens is, you see, the sun is an important part of the harvest festival, but there can be no harvest without rain. And Indra Bhagwan,
Yes.
Indraji is of course the god of rain, and prayers are offered. The next day is Surya Pongal, and this is really the main day. This is what all of us, even in Mumbai, even if my kids have to go to school at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're woken up before sunrise at 5. And very groggily, they're made to have a full bath and wear new clothes and stand in front of the gas or where we make our food. You take a traditional earthen pot, which all Tamil shops in Matunga, Sion, Chembur, central Mumbai, and even now in Andheri and other parts of Mumbai have. And you normally, it's got to be brand new. Now, whether you take an earthen pot, some people prefer to have steel pots. We understand that.
Okay.
You take the pot, you tie a turmeric plant around it, like the actual plant, and you get that in gathas also, which you're able to buy. And then you take some flowers and you again garland it. So you normally take a little bit of a rope and you put flowers through the rope. Which is why when you go to Dadar flower market on Pongal day or a couple of days before, they already have that tied up. And the whole cooking area is also decorated with lots of sugarcane stalk, and sugarcane stalk is also tied. So you tie turmeric, you tie a plant, you tie a flower garland, and you tie a stalk of sugarcane. Some people do very large stalks depending on the size of the pot. Some people do small ones. Then you start to typically boil milk. And as the milk starts boiling, to signify freshly harvested rice, you throw rice. And then as it begins to boil, if you're old school, your nanis and the dadis will still take the shank. Like they say, Shank Chakra Gadapana, which is the Lord has the chakra, the shank, and his accoutrements. They will blow the shank. Otherwise, we will just all shout Pongalo, Pongal, Pongalo, Pongal, Pongalo, Pongal, till it actually totally boils over. So you start shouting when it's just about boiling, right? Till it completely, you let it all boil over. Then, of course, jaggery, cane sugar is added. And then you actually cook the dish. Like I said, you do a shakre pongal or a ven pongal, depending on the kind of it. And normally what happens is when you make the first bowl, you go and keep it in front of the god.
Yeah.
In rural India, they still go and keep it in front of the cow, Go Mata, and that's the way it works. And then there is finally Mart Pongal. Mart Pongal basically means, Mart is reference to cow.
But tell me, before you move on to Mata Pongal, I want to tell you here, you said very interestingly that you do it at home when your children are woken up.
Correct.
So you actually let the milk boil over.
Yeah.
And they also sing. But when it happens in villages or bigger communities, lots of people, I believe, gather.
They all chant and they blow the conch shell.
Oh, interesting.
So it's lovely. So Mata Pongal is basically you bathe your cattle in the villages. You do a puja, prostrate in front of them, put gardens around them, and you feed them a special meal with your hand. Lots of people also then do processions. They go to the nearby temple. There are also some very dangerous games which are played.
I believe so, yeah.
Some of them were banned,
Yes.
so we don't get into it.
Yeah.
Kanum Pongal is the day where we go and visit people. It's like our day of boss. Diwali is now finally almost culminating. Let's go visit people. Normally meet them in the evening. The ladies give each other kumkum. You try and feed them some great pongal, and we do a lot of eating, I tell you.
I can see you already salivating. And interestingly, actually, you should have got the recipe of the week for me today, Rishi. Not fair. Today I should have got a Pongal.
No, but it would have been my mother's recipe
So
or my
what?
grandmother's recipe.
So what? I'm
This
going
is
to
an
still give you the recipe.
original Amrita recipe is what I'm looking for.
Okay, but next week I want it
Yeah.
from your mother.
Got it. You'll get it. Ask Amrita is the section that comes up at the end of the show. 9833943943. 9833943943. Ask any question along with your name, and I'll bring it up at the end of the show. The show comes to you every Monday, 8:15 to 9 a.m. on radio, 94.3, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai. And Wednesday, we have a YouTube episode where you can see Amrita resplendent in all her Pongal finery. Okay, come on. The recipe of the day has got to be Pongal.
Has to be
And
Pongal.
Shakra Pongal or
yes.
Sweet Pongal?
Sweet Pongal is what I'm here to tell you all about. And Rishi, I'll be very honest with you, this is the first time I made it. And I spoke to some of my Tamilian friends who were not you. I called up some of my aunts and I took the exact recipe from them, and I realized it's so easy. Actually, all of us have very similar, desserts that we make on these auspicious occasions. Like we Punjabis make kheer, you guys make sweet pongal. So the basis is the same. How you prepare it is very interesting. So in the case of sweet pongal, you basically first pressure cook the dal and the rice. It's mainly the rice, and you add a little bit of moong dal. Both are soaked. And the proportion is, if you're taking half cup of rice, you have to take about 2 tablespoons of moong dal. It's basically a rice dish, but the moong dal really adds a delicious flavor to it. Then we add a little bit of milk and a little water, and we pressure cook it. So basically how you would do the khichdi, till this point it's almost the same. But we don't add any seasonings, no salt at this point, because you want the rice and dal to get cooked properly. Then you take it out, and then in another kadhai, in a deep pan, you add some ghee, and you fry some cashews, some raisins, and then you add this prepared rice mixture into it. You also separately make a jaggery syrup. Jaggery is big in this festival. Of course, you can use just plain sugar also, but this sweet pongal definitely is made properly with jaggery. So you add a little water, you melt it, you strain it for some impurities, then add it to this rice and dal mixture. In that pan of ghee and the nuts. Nuts you can take out initially and add it later to maintain the crunch. Then you add some cardamom powder. I like to add a little bit of coconut, some fresh coconut to garnish it. And that's it. You take it out and you just dig in. I promise you, when I was making this recipe for my shoot, which you will watch after you finish listening to this episode, you will see the recipe. And I literally had to stop myself from eating because my entire unit was like, now stop it, now stop it. I have to give usually one bite. That shot of me eating is supposed to be one. I gave like 4 shots this time because I just couldn't help, keep digging in. So it's really, really amazing one.
You want to check this out on Instagram? It's Amrita cooking for you, or the recipe of the day, the dish of the day, in her kitchen studio. And it'll be fabulous. It's at 94.3 Radio 1 India and at Amrita Raichand. Also, if you want to see a longer version of that and other fabulous food content, it is Beyond the Plate, which is Chef Amrita Raichand's official YouTube channel.
No, it's Chef and Beyond.
Chef and Beyond.
Rishi is obsessed with Beyond the Plate, and as he should be. But my
Chef and
YouTube channel is Amrita Raichand, Chef and Beyond.
Good.
So please check it
just
out.
every now and then I should be corrected so that we reaffirm it by saying it a couple of times. Okay, here's the Ask Amrita section. The Ask Amrita section has Anthony today. Amrita, are there any special desserts or sweets that you enjoy during the New Year period? I want to take you as an inspiration and also try and feed myself some healthy desserts.
Good morning, Anthony. Well, I actually treat desserts as my, as my little indulgence. I don't believe that, you have to focus on whether the dessert is healthy or not. It should just be a complete dessert. It should give you that little satisfaction to your soul and to your body equally. Where the problem arrives is when you overeat the dessert. A dessert is a dessert. It's a little treat, and that's where you need to stop. Coming to what I really love is a strawberry crumble. I have a mean recipe. It's a very easy recipe also. It's on my YouTube channel. Please check it out. And strawberries are in season. I would highly recommend you have it. Apart from that, of course, there is the pinni, which I have talked about last week, which is my mother's recipe. It's again super healthy, and Agastya is having that every morning with tea nowadays. Do check that out also. And then, of course, the season specials, the gachak, the revari, all of these I love at this time.
Agastya is her son, in case
Yes.
if you've just tuned in after
Oops.
many episodes.
I just presume everybody knows that. Sorry.
Amrita, see you next week for another smashing episode of Beyond the Plate.
Thank you, Rishi. Lots of love.
94.3 Radio 1.